Hey y'all, Jamie here, and this is Dig It Homesteading, and welcome if you're new here. If you're not here, thanks for stopping by. Feel free to pull up a chair and watch the show. Anyway, today is one of those days that I'm going to run around the house and try to get a lot of little projects that have just been lingering around and stacking up, and they got to get done. So I got up, got showered, got some clothes on, got a pot of water going. So it's just going to boil now. So I'm going to cut it off. And we have this lovely, lovely holy basil. So I'm going to put this in here and it's going to steep while we run around and do other things. Speaking of, I did get a load of laundry going. Let me shove that in a little bit more. So that's just going to steep while we do other things. Laundry's going while we do other things. Let's see what else we need to get up to. And also cleaned my toilet already and fed the chickens some leftovers. Let's see what else. Ooh, this. I got some holy basil seeds collected. There's a lot of greenery in there, but this is all super duper dry. Let's see if you can see. The little tiny brownish black things in there are the seeds, and it is completely dry. I still have some seeds in this bowl. That's what they look like. But I just grabbed handfuls of the flowers that were turning brown or completely brown, threw them in my big giant bowl, and just left it sitting in the house for, gosh, probably 2 weeks now. It's one of them things that just got past me to finish. And so it sat there and sat there and sat there. Then I just crumpled them all up in the bowl and let all the seeds drop. And then I just blew as I dropped stuff, which is withering. And I did it outside around my chickens because I don't know if they like holy basil or not, but they were interested in it. And then I was left with all of this stuff. So that'll be seed for next year, although I have a feeling with how many seed that plant is producing that I probably will not need to re-sow this next year. I'm in zone 9, so we shall see if it will overwinter here. I also have, I know it's horrible lighting, sorry about that. I also have all this elderberry that's been drying that I need to take off and put in probably a airtight container, something like that. And then I have these. All these Progresso dry soup mixes. You see, they were $4.99. I got them for $3.49. Well, they're almost to their use by date. So I'm thinking about sticking them in Mylar, just so they'll, you know, be more shelf stable for a lot longer. Because you can see the product through it. So this isn't an airtight package. So if we can make it airtight with oxygen absorbers, then this product will last way past its date. And there was Southwest tortilla. I hate when they put the sticker on there. And then creamy corn chowder. And I got all these at Target. There we go. Southwest style tortilla. But I thought these would be great for, well, now we have hurricane season and snowmageddon season here in Texas. And either one, we may or may not have power, and we run our water off of a well. So if power's out, I don't know how to hook up our generator to the whole house yet to make it where our well would run. So I just have to use whatever water I have on hand. So if me and the kids are home, then I'd have to find something to make for us until my husband gets home to set up the generator. And something like this would be good. Or if it's just too daggum cold to run out there, and we know the power is supposed to be back on, what have you, any situation like that. But these are little naggly things. I also have this. This has been my harvest basket, my collection basket. So I've just got a mess. And y'all, I've been sick again. I was sick in the spring. So I was in the bed. Well, I'm just throwing stuff. I was in the bed last week, which I don't ever sit in the bed when I'm sick. And I feel like I've got to get so much stuff done. I need to get caught up. Y'all ever feel like that? Get sick for a few days and you have 5 billion things you need to do. But anyway, I just got my Walmart pickup order as well. Got all that sorted. And this is for sister. It's homecoming this Friday. So we got some face paint. They all do their faces for homecoming. But I have got a jar of greens here, which if you follow along, you might know my blender is pretty much shot. But these are just greens that I dried from the spring garden that I want to blend up and make into green powder. I already have some, but look, this is all like mama do list. Seeds that I need to sort. I used the rest of this flax meal the other day. Need to order some. I don't even know what this is. This is all seed saving. I got some purslane seeds in here. I've got some Mexican sunflower seeds in here. All of these need to be put up. So I got lots of seed saving. Oh Lord, I didn't even know that was there. Poor bell pepper. Well, that sucks, but at least it can feed my worm bin and go back in for next year's garden. I got marigolds in here. So things are piling up, literally. I've got okra. People been picking our okra. And I wanted them to use the rest of these little potatoes that we harvested. And of course my lovely jicama. Some of them have some bite marks, but I'm going to cut those out. I'm okay with that. So yeah, I'm sure there's plenty more, so I'll take you along. Ooh, one more thing. Dehydrator's empty. Need to get that reset. Sister was on a green apple kick for a long time, and these have been sitting there for a while, so I cored them, and I'm going to slice them and put them in the dehydrator for her so she can have apple chips. Plus, I don't like food to go to waste. So we'll get those done. And that right there is a COSORI all-in-one. So it does the toast, bagel, pizza, bake, roast, air fry, broil, cookies, rotisserie, dehydrate, ferment, and warm. It does everything. But it only has 2 trays. So if you are wanting to like go hardcore into dehydrating, I don't recommend this. I'm looking at their smaller actual dehydrator. I think it's a 6 tray. But I recommend this if you just have little batches of dehydrating to do, where you can just keep it running with a few things, if that's what you want to do. If you don't have a whole ton, or you're just new to it and you need a good air fryer, this thing is great as an air fryer. And it is the COSORI all-in-one. So I highly recommend it for that. I usually use my mandolin for this, but since it's just 2, I figured I will just make these as thin as I can. And if there's some brown spots, I don't really care, because sister doesn't care. Because they're going to be a little brown anyway. Because I'm going to put some ground cinnamon. 'Tis the season. I'm just going to get these trays out, and there are still some bits, but there's nothing going to flavor the apples, and that's my main concern, is not flavoring the apples with anything that I don't want it to be flavored with. That's a shame. I thought they were going to fill both racks. That's unfortunate. Now I need to find something else to dehydrate. But anyway, we'll finish with this. And I usually go to my sink and do this over my sink. But I do have a cutting board here, so I will show you. You can put as much cinnamon. You can also put sugar if your apples weren't sweet. And just go as heavy or as light as you want. Alright, I finished it at the sink because my cutting board is teeny tiny. Alright, we're going to push this, or not. Now we're going to go to dehydrate, push this. I don't know how long, what temperature I want these on, I don't remember. But I'm going to put it on 140 for now, and it's 12 hours that this will run at 140, and I'm going to push start. If I need to change the temperature, I will. 140 will do it either way, it just might take longer. You want to have a lower temperature for things like herbs and tender things. This, I just kind of want it to dehydrate as quick as possible. See, even this bowl is a to-do, because sister unloads and loads the dishwasher, and all these canning things kind of freak her out. She don't know where to put them all. She knows they don't go on the jars in the storage, but she doesn't ever know what to do with them. So we got to figure out a better plan so she knows what to do. But this, another part, one of those, throw it to the sides and fix it when you can things. This is broke before, and I've glued it. I think I might have some Gorilla Glue. Maybe I'll take care of that today too, because, you know, I need my cross made out of gears. But anyway, I'm going to go put these up where they belong, and I will be right back. I'm just going to wipe this area down because there's cinnamon and other things. And I'm going to have to test out sister's flat iron, because the other day she told me it was being a little wonky. These are hopefully next. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. So let me go see what day that's coming in, because I might have to do this project later. Okay, so I just went and checked it, and it's not going to be here in 2 days. It's going to be here like next week sometime. So this project is going to have to go on hold and be done when that comes in. But I do have another project I want to show you, and I'm going to have to bring it inside to do it. I've got these lovely petunias. Aren't they pretty? I got all these yesterday at Lowe's. I have a Lowe's haul if you want to see that video. And I'm going to put these in a hanging basket, so I'm going to have to go get that and do it in my kitchen, even though it'll be a mess because it's raining today. I'll do another distracted moment, little tip. I have these, and I have one more that I have labeled for coffee, worms, and chickens. That way my husband can put his coffee grinds in there. This is stuff that the chickens won't eat, so the worms will eat. And then I put a bin for the chickens, and we just keep lids on all of them and save our 3 different things in the kitchen. And it makes it where we can not have a whole ton of waste from the kitchen. It just goes back into either eggs or the garden. So sorry, yeah, this video is probably going to be a little bit all over the place, because I'm all over the place, because I'm excited to be feeling good enough to be running around to do all of this. And there's so many things. I don't know if this technique is going to work for this, since they're dried. I've never done them as dried, but I wanted to get some dried. I have some in the freezer. I usually take my pick and just run it through like you would a tangle or a knot, but I think that's going to break the little tips up, and I'm going to try to get as much of this off. But I have this colander sitting on a bowl. Maybe I'll just rub it around and try to let the colander, that seems to be helping. Let the colander do some of the work. Crunch it up a little bit. That's basically what I did with the seeds. So this is technically seed. So if it worked for one project, it should work for the other. That works. Now it can go in my worm bin. The coffee, I just dump that one when it's full. And I went and fed it to my banana trees today. But all of these little bits of stems and stuff, the worms can turn into compost for me. And I'm very excited that this is working like this. Alright, so that's how many we got. There's very few green ones. There is just a tiny bit of stems and stuff that went through the colander with it. You could go and wither this is where you pick it up and you drop it and you blow it, or you can go like that and blow it, and all this dry stuff will come out. We're going to put it in this jar, and I'm not going to seal it today because I need to run out there and see if I have some more. Okay, so not very much. They really do go down with how much volume they have when they're dried, which is, you know, beneficial. And now I'm putting a reused lid on there because I don't need this to be pressure canned or anything. And let's go on to do the next project. Alright, our tea has been brewing, and it's holy basil tea. And I'm going to just put some of this sweetener in here. You can use a sweetener of your choice. I'm also going to pour it everywhere because it's so daggone fluffy. And I'm going to put this sieve over the top. And then very carefully pour it all in. And it is still really hot, so it will melt my sweetener. Now for my worm bin, and this will sit and cool for a little while, and sometimes I just throw a bunch of ice in it, stir it, and then let it cool for a little bit longer because I don't want hot in my fridge. Or you can just let it sit out. I don't know if you'll be able to see in my retro Tupperware jug, but the tea is a very light green, and this is medicinal. And you'll probably see I did use the ones with the flowers on it too, and that is absolutely okay. It might change the flavor a little bit, but I use it and nobody here seems to mind. So I'm gonna just get some ice in this and stir it up, and that should be it. Or we'll do it the opposite, stir then ice. I think that would be more appropriate. Alright, now for the lovely fun part. This is like a nice little in-between reward for doing all the things that either I've been putting off or didn't want to do. I am just amending this with some Osmocote Plus. Not sponsored, not affiliated. I can't really find a whole lot of information about this. If it's organic, it doesn't say organic, so I can only assume it's not. So I only put this on plants that we do not consume any part of the plant. And I wanted to amend this pretty heavily because it has been just sitting in the full blazing sun all summer, and I probably need to get a new liner pretty soon. I don't know if they all have their own name with the colors or what, but I'm not really that worried about it. I just want them to be pretty for us. Wow, that's a whole heck of a lot of roots going on there. And this is probably not going to be a whole lot of dirt, but you can see my thing has shrunk, my liner. So we're going to just make do. Make it pretty. If I can add some more soil once I get to put this out, then I will. If not, for me, these have been annuals I don't know how to make them perennial here, or if that's even possible. And I am breaking up these roots a little bit whenever I'm sticking it in there, because you want them to know that they're in ground where they can spread. And I'm just going to kind of put them an inch or two away from each other in this planter. Have you ever seen those big, beautiful hanging baskets? I don't know how they do those. But that is another goal of mine. Today is a lot of going over goals of mine. I want to do foraging and tinctures and learn how to do those massive, pretty hanging baskets. Mine just always look meh. But I'm okay with meh. And these are sticking out of the ground a little bit. I don't really think that's going to be too much of an issue. Get that out of there. And so from every angle, we have different pretties to look at. And I'm going to go ahead and water this real good while it's sitting here. You want to water in your plants so it settles the soil around the roots. Simple, quick, beautiful, instant gratification. Now I have sink pansies. So I don't know if it's just me, but I tend to run all over the house doing all kinds of things, and it puzzles together. So if you can guess, yes, I have ADD or ADHD. So I'm sure you've seen videos, but what that looks like is you run to one room to do something, and then you pick something else up to either throw it away or put it where it goes, and then you go to that room and run around, and then you see something that needs to be picked up. And that's a real thing, and that used to drive my mother crazy, but that's how I get things done. And I find that I've been able to like kind of hone it in. So if I, like, say I ran in there to go put the stuff into the dryer, and I was like, you know what, I really need to find something else to just throw in the washer. You know, what am I going to do? Dog beds, or we changed out our table thing, so I needed to do a tablecloth, needed to be washed, and I had a blanket. So I got those to go as well. But I can go down a rabbit hole, or I can choose to come back in here. So that's where I have to like make that choice of, do I go down the rabbit hole and maybe organize something I saw that was disorganized, or do I come back in the kitchen and bounce from project to project in here and get all of these little things done? So as you see, I made it back. So give myself a pat on the back. But anyway, it's a real thing, and you know, if you're not like that, maybe have a little understanding or learn, I don't know, about people whose brains works like that. And I know a lot of people who have had trauma brains end up starting to work like that, where they can't just sit down and get one thing done, but then also they have issues starting and stopping tasks. Like they can't get back on task if they're stopped. So many things to think about, and it's kind of fascinating to me to see how different people's brains are and how they do things. But in my mind, if you're getting things done, you are on fire. If it's not the way somebody else would do it, that's a them problem. I'm all about just getting everything done, and if that means I have to do it the way my brain allows me to do, then I'm okay with that. And some days I need to start and stop projects. You know, if I feel like something's overwhelming, I might set that down and go do a few other projects that are easier, so then I can go back and focus. Because if I have this big project that's going to take lots of concentration, and I have all these little things in the background going, don't forget us, then I might as well stop and go do them, because then they can shut up and then I can focus on what I need to do. It also helps to have background noise. I work at a very special place, and we work with disabled people, troubled children, special needs people, veterans, families, organizations, all kinds of things to help them work their crap out. Literally work their crap out. So we do groundwork with horses, and then I also do therapeutic riding. And I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. I've examined a lot, and I love my job. I love that I get to have people be taught by horses. You don't forget when a horse teaches you. But yeah, sometimes out there, even we have to learn, because we get overwhelmed, that it's okay to not do things in the order that it should be done. Should is a horrible word, because should can bear you down and bog you down. Just because you can't do it how it should be done doesn't mean how you can do it is wrong. Anyway, that was on my mind for today. Let's finish up this project. Projects, because I don't know when this is going to end. And thank you for following me along in all my craziness in my all the things projects day. I don't know why, but filling soap jars is very satisfying. And I got these new ones. Aren't they cute? So cute. So if you don't know, my husband's favorite soap is the foaming Bath and Body Works stuff, and he hates the liquid hand soap. I won't tell you why. He just doesn't like the texture of it. So this had a little tiny bit of this regular hand soap you get from the store, but I also have a huge gallon of Castile soap, and I mixed the two together, which I don't know if he's going to like that texture either. So we shall see. And I've had one of these with my dish soap in it for a few months now, and I've really been liking it. I got them on Amazon. I can try to remember to link them if you're interested. I think they're quite amazing. Let's see, look, like that's super duper liquidy. But I think I'm going to keep mixing soaps in here until I can try to find a right mixture, because he says those, even when I get them on sale, that those Bath and Body ones are so expensive he don't want me to buy them anymore, even though he hates these kind of soaps. So I'm going to try my best to make a soap he doesn't mind. And you see how easy that was to fill. So if you have the thick soap or wider mouth, it's not going to spill and go everywhere. I love that. Let's see how this comes out. That's better. So yeah, I thought they were just precious. Absolutely precious. Speaking of the devil, hubby is home early from work. Yay, hubby. Okay, these okra look absolutely horrible. They need to be sorted. And I think my chickens like it. But their bin is outside, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Some of these are probably going to be hard. Some of these might be icky. Yeah, that one feels hard. It's soft, but I can tell by the crunch that it's not something texturally that I want. Some of these have been in here all week. And even some of these big ones are still good. This is a Texas Longhorn. But while I was sick, I had the family go picking okra. But I like to open these harder ones and give them to the chickens, because they eat all the seeds out of them. So I'm going to just go through and see which ones are good enough to go in my freezer bag and cut open the rest for the chickies. But the family did what they could while I couldn't, so at least we got some. And I just have a few peppers left. The kids need to go through these taters. Look at them baby taters, Daddy.
Oh yeah. Huh?
So I'm going to go through these peppers, all the lovely peppers, and get them sorted too. So quick little tip, some of the peppers that I have just sitting there are pretty well dry. And I just throw them over here on my dehydrator, like I have some of these already. And I just kind of let them open up, and then their seed for next year. They're most probably cross-pollinated, and I'm always interested in seeing what will happen with them. And then I've also got a bell pepper, which it is a teeny tiny bell pepper of no fault of its own. But you can see it's old and wrinkly too. But we're going to do the same thing with it. So I'm going to just open it up like that and let it dry out up here. This is kind of my collect all drying, excuse you, collect all drying area. Like, see, I have some little toothache plant flowers up here drying so I can try and tincture them. But I use this as a drying area as well because the top of this gets warm while this is running, so that can dry my herbs and what have you. So it's dual purpose. Things I don't want in the oven can get dried up there. And I harvested some seeds from our wild purslane, which I don't know if I really need to because they spread wild, and since I've been leaving them and let them go into seed, they've been spreading everywhere, and that's a good nutrient-rich edible that you can harvest from your own yard too. But I went ahead and got bell pepper, the purple bell pepper, some sweet pepper packets ready so I can just set them up there on the dehydrator, so when they're all dry I can collect them and have these ready. Got some Mexican sunflower things ready, jicama, I don't know, Cracker Jack, marigolds, whatever. All I know is they were tall, so that's what I'm writing on here. So I know for next year that they were the tall ones and not the low-lying ones. So I'll get back on track and get these peppers done just as soon as he's done, and then we'll do some seed saving too. Any peppers that I don't have plans to pickle, like first of the year or end of the year, I just get a bag from the freezer that I keep in the freezer for any sort of vegetable from the garden, and I just reuse that bag over and over and over. And I just chop them up and put them in there so we can have fresh chopped peppers from the garden to throw into whatever we need to. I'm gonna go sort through all these, get them in the freezer bag while Mr. Hubby gets his coffee going. These look like Serrano, but I don't think I made Serrano. Hello? What are you sharing your coffee? Are you proud of your coffee?
No, I'm just trying to add some fiction today.
Yeah, you can. Even things you think you can't. Alright, so that's what we've ended up with. And a pretty mix of different colors. Okay, on to seed saving. So this is a prime example. I have never collected seeds from this plant before, and there's a lot of it here, so I'm a little overwhelmed and don't even know what. Oh, there we go. So distracting myself, I found a little teeny tiny arrowhead shaped seed. But I'm not going to look at this one right now because I have seeds in here that I have saved before that are incredibly easy to save. So I can start with those and have one little task done. I'll show you the marigold seeds. Once you see them and know them, they're pretty easy to know what you got. And here's a big bundle. So this whole thing, if I crush it, all these little bitty pieces are going to come flying out. So I like to do my best to keep them whole because this has been sitting for a very long time, patiently or impatiently waiting for me. And I just throw that whole thing in there and squish them in as good as I can. So that's it. Marigolds are saved. And then these are jicama, which I have a video about my first year actually getting fruit from them, which I showed you earlier. And these are the seed pods. And just remember that these are poisonous. They kind of look like peas, but look, you snap the top and the pea pops out, well, the seed. And that's all you do. And then you put them in your little baggie. You just make sure they're dry. But yeah, the flowers, seeds that look like peas, anything like that on there are poisonous. Only the actually root crop is edible. So make sure you keep an eye on, you know, little kids that might think they're peas, if they like to help you pick peas, or any animals that like to eat your plants, like dogs who randomly want to chew on things. And these only had 1 bean each, but I have a whole bunch more of these, and I didn't feel like going and digging them out, so they have a new pouch, which means I'll probably share these with somebody. And each one seed will make 1 jicama. So that is 4 jicamas about this big, sitting right there for next year. I usually keep things whole, and I kind of want to do that here, but I also don't know what they look like how difficult it's going to be. If it's going to be a pain in the butt to do it, then I'd rather just go through and crush them up like this and sprinkle them into the ground. When you're saving things like zinnias, I just put them in whole, and then I sprinkle what I need to into the ground where I want to plant it the next year, instead of doing this in advance to try to save them. But you can do it in advance, or you can do it how I do it, however it works for you. If you don't have the space or the amount of bags that I do, then you'll want to save room and do this in advance. But either way works. Just make sure your stuff is dry. That's all that matters. Ooh, these are pokey. They're very, very pokey. So I might break these up a little bit, because I do have some people I want to share these with. And I don't want to I don't know what their storage system is like. So I'll make at least theirs, maybe mine as well, smaller for this plant. But I'm not going to go through and get rid of the extra fluffy stuff that's around the seeds, this paper. It's all just going to stay in there. I just want the shape to be smaller. I don't think I finished a statement earlier, which is kind of typical me. But I was talking about the kids that I work with and having background noise. What you see, I'm sitting here doing this and there's no background noise. So my mind circles back around to our conversation earlier, which I think I didn't finish, saying about background noise. So if I have background noise, then I tell the parents of the kids that have ADHD, you know, if they're wanting to do homework with their radio going or their TV going or whatever like that, as long as they tell them, you know, it is your background noise and not for you to watch, then I tell people you have a regular brain and your ADHD brain. If you amuse this ADHD brain, you're able to use this brain to focus, because otherwise this one's trying to focus and this one's going, what can I hear? I can hear everything. And so it distracts this brain. So it helps if you have an ability to distract your ADD brain, as I call it, to be able to focus a little bit better. At least that's what I find. I find it worked for my kids who had ADHD, and all the parents that I have recommended that have seemed to like it as well. Because if you're not a parent with ADHD, you don't really understand your child with ADHD and how their brain works a little differently. Alright, so I'm going to just get these bagged up. And I don't know if we have anything else, but I'll look around and see. Now these can go to, I have a client and his mama likes to grow things. So I'm going to give these to her, and then I have a friend, which y'all may have seen her. She actually helped me start the worm bin. We went and visited her. I have a video about that. Okay, here's another example. I came out here, put the seeds out in the garden bed that I had set about, and then I found this. This is my Roselle hibiscus, and I knew they were doing pretty good, but I hadn't seen them bloom or anything. Hadn't seen them bloom at all. And then I just so happened to see that all the, I can't remember what they're called, all the pods were out here, and they are ready to be harvested. Some of them are a little past, which you can save these for seed as well, the ones that are past. So anyway, I'm gonna pick these, and there might be another video because there's some wonderful things that you can do with this plant. And then we'll get back to the other one. Okay y'all, so I had a slight detour. You know, run around, do all the things, squirrel. Well, in my case, it's plant. So I saw these were ready to be harvested. And if you want to know more about this, check out the video I just went and made for y'all in between while I'm making this video, because that's how I roll sometimes. But anyway, just go check this out and learn all about it. I wanted to make it a separate video. That way, if you're interested in growing this, or if you already grow this, you might know how to process it to use it. But anyway, let's see what else we have to do, because I don't even know now because I'm distracted. Oh yeah, we were seed saving. So I'm going to take my friends, mine, and my clients' lovely mamas and put those up. I'm going to get all this cleaned up and reset. We'll probably move on to this, which is very interesting. Here's another squirrel moment for you. I have this project, which I made this for sister. If you don't know, in Texas, mums are huge. Literally, they can be the size of Texas. So our girls usually wear this style on their chest, and then the boys get ones on their wrist, and they wear these for homecoming. And I made this one for her when she was in elementary, and it has gotten really good use, and they are so expensive to make or buy. But I made it for her, and it has been well loved. You can't see this one because it has her name on it. I don't know if she wants her name on film. I can't remember. So it's just got all these little lovelies, but it's got some stringy bits I'm going to have to cut out, and I don't want to make a new one this year. So I figure maybe next year, since this one's getting all funkalicious, I'll make her a really big one, since she's going to be, you know, teenager now. But look, the pin that holds it on has came off, so I have ordered. So this was a great investment to make it for my daughter, let her use it for multiple years, and then make her a new one when it comes time, and hopefully she can use that one for a few years as well, and then she can just keep them or donate them or whatever she wants to do with them, or I might steal them from her because all my hard sweat, love, and tears went into them. So tell me, does your state do that? Do y'all use mums? Because Texas is the only state I have ever heard of for homecoming. And if you don't, what do y'all do for homecoming? Do y'all just dress up cute? Do y'all do face paint? Because we do face paint, we do mums. They dress all kinds of school spirit. They're a little crazy. Y'all, people put lawn chairs up and down our main street a week before the homecoming parade. A week! They're a little serious about it here. But anyway, let me know what y'all do, because I'm interested. Okay, right back to the regularly scheduled program again. Y'all, I did start this project in March, and I went ahead and finished that video, and it should be out soon. I'll try to remember to come back and link it to this one once it's out, because this will probably go out first. But all strained. Look at the size of the mothers. There's like hundreds and hundreds of mothers in there. That was a cool project. And anyway, I got some thorny things in my fingers from the Roselle hibiscus. They're kind of like okra in some places, so be careful where you pull them off at. And here's our lovely little pansy basket hanging in the garden. I think it looks lovely. I hope sister will like it as well. So thanks so much for spending time with me getting all the things done and having a little chat about something that's very important to me. And if you have something to add, please do so down at the comments. And if you enjoyed this video at all, please give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Until the next time, love you, bye-bye.